Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this super cool rainbow to rain theme toggle for your site. As you can see, it changes the H1, the background and the button, and it also changes the toggle itself. So let's get into it. I'm using Scrimba for this, and I'll link to my project down below. So I'm kicking off with my cat blog with no gradients at all. And instead, I've just loaded my all-time favourite colour, which is hot pink. And I will be leaving this in the site as a fallback, just in case the gradients don't load. So that's quite handy. The first thing I want to do is set up the variables for the gradients, because they're going to be used in 4 different places on the site: title, background, button, and the toggle. And they're pretty long to type, so it definitely makes sense to use a variable in this case. So I go into my root, and then I'm going to want one called rainbow and one called rain. And I'm actually going to pop into VS Code to do this. Reason being is a very easy way to get the colours I want. So we start with rainbow, and it's a linear gradient going to the right. And then I think I'm going to stick to about 5 colours to stop it getting too muddy. So I'll do red, orange, yellow, green, and purple. But I don't want them as bright as this. But VS Code has this cool colour picker where I can just select a nice, soft, pastel-y alternative. And I'll do the same for the rain one. So I'll start off with 5 instances of grey, and then I can just choose progressively lighter shades to make my nice gradient. And then I can copy those in. Lovely. Now, just to check those are both okay, I'm going to add the first gradient to the body. So I'll do background image and then var rainbow. Woohoo! We have loaded. Now let's check the rain one. That's looking good too. So now that's in, I'm going to add it as well to my H1 and my button. And I can actually do a little bit of refactoring here. I can do body, H1, button, and then move this into there. So that's worked well for the background and the button, but we need to do a little bit of work on the H1. And to put the gradient inside the text rather than on the outside, we do WebKit, background clip, text, and then WebKit, text, fill color, transparent. So that has made the pink that we originally loaded in transparent so that the gradient can shine through in the H1. However, doing that will mean, of course, that the hot pink isn't going to show if the gradient doesn't load. So to get around that, just load a background color of hot pink. So now, if there's an issue with the gradient, we still have our hot pink cat blog title. Great news! So now it's time to build the toggle to switch between the themes. Now I want it in my header, so I'll do div class of theme toggle and then close that off. And to style it, I do theme toggle. I'll do a height of, let's say, 30 pixels, a width of 50 pixels, a border radius of 15 pixels. And to show you how it's looking, let's put in the border, which is 3 pixels, solid orange red. So there, it is appearing. But I want it on the right-hand side. So to do that, I do margin left and auto. Now, I want the background of the toggle to also have that gradient. So to do that, I can come back up here and just add theme toggle to there. And now we have the rainbow inside our toggle. Awesome. And I'll add a backup background color of white, because the rain option will have the background color of grey. I want them to be different. So we have the background part of our toggle, but now we need the circle which indicates which one is switched. And to do that, we use the after selector. So we want theme toggle after. It's got no content, position of absolute, top of 0, left of 20 pixels. It'll become clear why in a second. And I want a width of 24 pixels and the same height. And it's a circle, so that's border radius 50 And so we can finally see it, background colour to match the border of the toggle, orange red. And to put it in the right place, we put the old position relative on our toggle. Great news! We now have our toggle button inside the toggle background. But we want to be able to switch the themes using our toggle. So let's add that functionality now. And the first thing we need to do is select the items we want to change when we flick the toggle. And to do that, we need IDs. So the body gets an ID of body, the H1 gets an ID of, well, let's not complicate things, let's go with H1. The toggle gets an ID of theme toggle, and all of the buttons need an ID too. And I'll go for BTN. So now we have those IDs, we can save them as variables in our JS. So I'll do const body document.getElementById and then body. And just to show that that has worked, we do console.log body, and there we have it. Woohoo! So now I'm just going to do the same thing for the other 3 elements. So we got H1 theme toggle. I'll use camel case for the variable and keep with the hyphen for the ID. And finally, BTN. So now we want to add an event listener to our toggle button so that we can tell it to run a function whenever that's clicked. So we do theme toggle dot add event listener. We're listening for the click, and when that happens, I'm going to run a function called switch theme, which I'll write down here. So I'll do function switch theme and then body.classList.toggle and then rain. But that's not going to do anything yet because we don't have the rain class. So we add that at the bottom of our CSS. We do rain. I want a background color of light grey to be the backup, and then our background image, and that's our variable called rain. So let's give that a go. Woohoo! We are changing on click. And just to show you that the backup color does work, here we are. Great news. So now we just want to do the same for the other items we're looking to change. So we need 3 more of these, and we switch out the H1, the theme toggle, and BTN. So let's see how that's doing. Lovely. But the eagle-eyed among you will notice 2 things about the toggle. First off, we don't have a cursor pointer on it, which would be nice, so the user knows they can interact with it. So I will just pop that in here, much nicer. And of course the toggle needs to actually move to the other side. And to do that, we just do rain, after, and then transform, translate, and remember we had left 20 pixels. We want it to move 20 pixels to the left, so it will effectively be at 0. So we do minus 20 pixels. Let's give that a go. Great news! Everything is working as expected. Now I should say that this probably could be a bit drier, but I think to change the entire theme of a website in 13 lines of code isn't too bad. So I'll leave it like that for now, but if you want to refactor it and let me know how you've done it, I would love to hear it. That would be great. So that's about it for my rainbow rain theme toggle. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget you could also add some other classes, for example a sun class with just reds, oranges and yellows, or maybe just your favourite colour. And if you do that, I'd really love to see it. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you'd like to see more CSS oddities and odysseys from me, you can think about hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.